This is the Boom Podcast. The podcast that shows you how to build an amazing business so you can build an amazing life. The Boom Podcast starts now.
Season 4 rolls on, everybody. It's good times. We're back. We're here. We're happy. We're happy.
We're happy.
Now we're happy.
Are you happy, Megan?
Soup's happy.
Soup's happy. Our soup is happy. Todd, are you happy?
I was just trying to find the song. It took me a while, but I found it. I was trying to find the song where you go up like a note each time.
Like me, like that.
And then it hit me. It's like, so,
yeah.
Wait, no.
Dough.
That's from Sound of Music.
Yeah, but that's not even what I was thinking about.
Were you thinking of Hallelujah?
And that brings us back to...
What?
That's it.
That's Sound of Music.
Yeah.
That Sound of Music?
It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Dear.
Oh,
Yep.
I always thought it was just like a music class thing.
No. Rain, a drop of golden sun.
Yeah.
It's for the shape,
it's
the shape
teaching
note
you.
system.
Yeah.
You know, where instead
That's
of
why I
just
thought it was
round
like a
notes, it
music
was also
class.
Yeah, it's teaching
She
you
was-
do, re, mi, fa, so,
yeah.
and she was teaching the children
teaching them.
music, and she sang that song to them so they would remember
I have
all
never
those
seen
little words.
that movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
I have seen her twirl on the mountainside. That's
Yeah,
that movie, right?
That's that movie, yep.
Yeah.
Is
Is that
Oh,
also...
that was good, Megan.
Like that.
That was really good.
So
Is that
what's
what
her
the
name? I
kids-
should.
Julie Andrews.
Yeah, that was. I
that
was
what they-
channeling her. Yes.
Oh, yeah, the kids in the
good.
background, they dropped that in.
Is that where the kids sing goodnight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So long.
Farewell, yes.
That's a good family movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're in Germany, and then the Nazis come,
yeah,
running from the
and then
Nazis.
it gets like serious, and
It does get
they're
serious?
like, they're
Well-
like on mountaintops, and then there's a part where they're like,
hiding
It
from
does
the
get-
Nazis.
Yeah.
They have to hide from the Nazis.
I mean, things are happening.
Yeah.
They have to hide from the
Oh my
Nazis?
gosh, we
Yes.
are watching The Sound of Music
Yeah.
this weekend.
She's just not twirling on a mountainside the
No,
whole
no.
time.
There's Nazis involved.
well, let me say this. No, hold on. Let me say this, though.
Mom?
No.
There's way more.
Let me assure you
We're
this,
doing it.
though, Todd.
Yeah.
So it's about this family.
Yeah.
They learn music.
Yeah.
They hide from Nazis.
Okay.
They go on the run.
Okay. All right.
You will not like it.
Oh.
Yeah,
It
no.
is a-
Even with all that said, you will not like this
It's a
movie.
musical. It's still a musical.
I was going to say, I
And
like
it
a lot
doesn't
of the
get
plot
too deep.
so far.
I mean, we're not talking like military where you're gonna like it.
No,
It's
no.
just this
Yeah,
is
don't
what's
get
happening.
excited
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
no
So
like
Brad
still
Pitt doesn't
gore.
come in.
Yeah,
No.
there's no tanks
And
like
do
where they're-
carvings.
No, there's no machine. Well, no
Kill
machine
Nazis.
guns are fired.
We killed
Yeah,
Nazis.
Nazis.
Get the Nazis. No, even
Bonjour.
Buongiorno.
I can wreck it for you with a sentence, I think, and that is this: even when they're running from Nazis, they're singing.
They're singing, yeah.
Okay.
Did I ruin it for you?
Yeah, that's it.
It is
Never mind.
quintessential musical.
There was a
Check.
moment where I was like, maybe I should check this out. And
No,
that just
you
ended
will not
right
like
there.
it. No, you will not like it. I promise you. I didn't. I feel like I just saved you. I would say 3 hours because that's how long it is, but I feel like I saved you 20 minutes.
Because I would have turned it off.
Yes, you'd be out. You would be done, no doubt. It's a
so
good time.
funny.
It is a classic. We watched it a lot at my grandma's house growing up.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My family really liked it. Me and my brother watched it a lot. So it's funny because like things like that just have nostalgia
Yeah.
in your heart,
Yeah.
and so like I will always like that movie because we watched it growing up. My wife really likes White Christmas,
Yeah,
which
never
is
seen it.
absolutely brutal. But she watched it all the time growing up, and so,
So she loves it.
she loves it. She's
Yeah.
like, "You don't like it?" I'm like, "No, it's terrible." And I can see I've angered some people, maybe even in the room about that, and some people think it's terrible. Kelsey, the worst. Yeah, it is. Right, totally
Yeah,
agree.
there's a new voice or new name, a new somebody in the studio that maybe our listeners are not
Yes.
aware of, or
We should do a proper introduction.
Okay, if
should.
she wants to duck down, she'd be in that shot.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's
Here
not-
we
she can't
begin.
get in that
There's a
shot.
giant bar in her way. What? Oh,
Yeah,
well,
no, you
Begin.
can't see her at
That's
all.
different than ducking.
Well, anyway,
Anyways,
she'll
back
be-
there.
Kelsey's here.
She'll be like Oz, like she'll be behind
Oh,
the
the
curtain.
great and
all the
powerful
time,
Kelsey.
all the
Yeah.
time, like
We will.
Vern. She'll
Like,
be our Vern.
to Ernest, the Ernest Vern. So Kelsey, starting off right because she says White Christmas is terrible. Have you guys watched White Christmas?
I've never
don't
seen
even
it.
know
What's
of
the
it.
Yeah.
30-second, 30 Miracle?
Oh,
Oz,
Miracle on
that.
Earth.
Yeah,
Never saw that one
I don't
either.
think I've ever.
I haven't either. I haven't seen that one. Is it
Is
good?
that's the one with the angel every time you hear the, I've seen that
That one
No,
looks
wait,
bad.
no,
Isn't
that's
that-
It's a Wonderful Life.
That is It's a
that's
Wonderful Life.
Yeah, that one's a good. That's a
I've
good
never
movie.
seen that
Obviously,
either.
they've all made a big impact on me, but I have seen It's a Wonderful Life.
I
but
took
not
the
the
sound.
other
I
two.
actually took the Sound of Music tour around Salzburg, Austria.
You did?
I did.
So you are you like Sound of Music?
No, I was forced to go. We were with a school group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the Sound of Music or no?
I do, but the tour was so boring.
The only thing worse than a musical is a tour based on a
Based on
musical.
the musical. Let me tell you what, it was packed. The tour bus was packed.
We tried to watch a musical not too long ago, and it was like Mamma Mia. What's the one with the Ryan? What was his name?
Oh, La La Land?
La La Land.
Oh,
and we like
I've not watched
started it, and they were like in traffic.
I'm guessing you turned that off.
And the music came on, and they got out of the cars dancing, and we were both like, "Nope." Done.
Have you guys watched the new Hamilton movie on Disney Plus?
Have.
What did you think of that?
You talking about the recording of the Broadway show? Or
The Hamilton
movie?
film. The Hamilton,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
recording of the
Oh,
Broadway
yeah,
show.
we watched that. It was really good.
Yeah, I think it's good. What did you guys? How did you feel about that one?
So we've seen Hamilton live, and so what
Oh,
was
you
fun,
did?
Yeah. So
When did you see Hamilton?
Chicago.
We went to
In
Chicago
Chicago.
last year.
Yeah,
Were
we saw it
you-
in Chicago too.
Were
Yeah.
you excited to go, or were you not excited to
I
go?
was excited to go because I'd heard so much about it. And I heard how it was different than standard
His
musicals.
parents got us like the CDs,
Yeah.
the soundtrack, so we could listen. So
So
we knew
you-
the songs
we had to find a
beforehand,
CD
which was
player.
fun.
So did you? Yeah, right. So you have to. So you watched it live. Did you like it when you saw it live?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a
loved
lot.
it.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
And then you
Yeah.
watched the original Broadway cast on the Disney version. Did you like that?
We did. I will tell you though, there's characters there.
It's funny, you
like
pick
the
your
lead
favorite
that I
characters.
didn't like as much as I liked in Chicago.
Yeah, sure.
You know
the guy
the
that
lead,
played
the
it.
guy
I felt that way
wrote
about
it.
The guy
one
that
of
wrote it
the,
and everything.
Todd, you're
Yeah.
not allowed
maybe
to
his
say that.
wife. Maybe
Oh,
one of the
Eliza?
characters was really good.
Yeah.
I thought the king was better in Chicago.
yeah. Well, that's what she was
Agreed.
saying.
The king
Yeah.
was great on the
Yeah.
on the video or the movie, the film, but he was better.
He was
in
really
Chicago.
good in
Wow.
Chicago.
He was really
Yeah.
good. And
Wow.
Washington was better in
Yeah.
Chicago.
See,
or
then I don't
but
know.
I think you just like certain.
I was going to say maybe it's
vibes.
because that's
They're
the
all
first time I
great.
saw it.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know
how
They
you kinda get
introduced
locked
the
in?
character
Yeah.
to you,
See?
right?
That's true.
This is by
All good.
far the most we've ever talked about a musicals on the show, and I never
Really
thought we'd
anything
go this
serious.
Might be the
far.
first time we've talked about
It may
musicals
be.
on the store.
It may be. All right.
You know, just
You
put a
say-
button on it.
it's great.
It's a great
so
song.
good.
So
West
good.
Side Story.
Yes.
I've seen that 3 times.
Oh,
Never seen it.
really?
Because every time it was like, we've got a sub for this week in music
They make
class.
sense.
And they're like, West Side Story.
I think that is federally regulated. That if the music teacher is out, you have to have a
watch
video
this.
of West Side Story. I think that's mandated.
probably where I've seen all
from
my
on
musicals.
high. That was really fun. I actually could do a separate podcast,
On musicals?
not episode. I mean, a whole second podcast that I do where we just talk about musicals. I think we could.
Terry on musicals.
Yeah, maybe that's
But
what
you
I'll call
guys
it.
like you go to like Broadway, like that.
Yeah, I'm
like
into it.
yeah,
I'm into it.
Yep.
And then I get weirdly obsessed, and I just play the music around the clock, and I think, and I look at YouTube videos. It gets weird. We go down a rabbit hole. That's on Terry on Musicals, which is my other podcast
TerryOnMusicals.com.
on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever podcasts.
We'll set
are
up your
sold.
home studio. We'll
We'll
make
get that
happen.
rolling, right? Yep. You never know, guys. Maybe that'll be the thing that launches me into the stratosphere.
Man.
And I'm going to leave you guys in
I was
the
gonna say.
dust because you don't like musicals enough. All right, let's get to Training the Virtual Brain, Season 4. Play the sounder for us, Christian, Season 4 jingle.
Season 4, it's the Boom Podcast, Season 4.
That would be fitting in a musical. I think
so, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
got,
for sure.
It's got the right. That actually could be
musical
in the Sound
vibes.
of Music.
Yeah.
It's got Sound of Music
I
vibes
need
in it
to-
a little bit.
I do want to clear the air.
Okay.
That
Uh-oh.
we really do. Well, I really enjoy going to a show like
Okay.
Broadway. Like we saw Wicked, and
Yeah.
there's some other things that we've seen live. It's just something about watching Mamma Mia on TV
That's
or
tough.
like La La
a musical
Land, and I'm
movie.
like, meh. Like,
Yeah.
I made
A movie of a musical is a
Yeah.
little weird. It's a weirder context than a live
when
show.
you
for
watch
some
it
reason.
live and they're doing all the things, and you're like,
Yeah.
you can just like appreciate all that's gone into that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool.
But when you
too.
watch it as a movie, you're like, why are these people singing?
Yeah, except for The Greatest Showman.
Except for The Greatest
That was
Showman. Although
really great.
I went to The Greatest Showman not realizing it was a musical. I just thought this is a Hugh Jackman
Really?
movie about Barnum or whoever it was. And they started singing. I was like, oh man, this is a musical. and I was not excited, but then it won me over just like that, and I got obsessed, and the whole thing again. That's episode 4 of Terry on musicals.
But there's
available now.
But there's a whole thing where, like in Hamilton, the stage is moving, and you see that live, and they're pulling things away and putting things in. People are, that kind of thing is impressive because it's acrobatic at a certain level.
Right. And there's
and you don't pick so much of that up. Like you see it a little bit in the Disney thing, kind of see him walking on the turntable, but you really don't. You see the whole thing from the audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
And all that they have to remember, and there's not that many people.
Yeah.
You see them like some
a lot
of the
lyrics.
So many lyrics, so many like moves that you have to remember the whole time. And then there's a lot of people like the second string, I would call them in sports terminology, coming off the bench, and they play a couple different roles, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Here's what I would say though is if I saw Hamilton live, I promise you I would not have been throwing down like $2,000 to sit so close to see the facial expressions of everybody. So that's one thing the film did bring that I don't think I would have in the live experience is the up closeness of it all.
Good point.
The spittle from the king.
The King spittle. That's Jonathan Groff.
I always wondered, like, this on stage, are they told, like, try to get it all spittled? Or was that just that guy?
I mean, the king was actually crazy.
Yeah, I think that's why he did that.
Or it says, I'll go mad. He eventually goes mad, literally.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think they were alluding. Because my daughters were like, that's gross. Do they really do that? And I'm like, no, I think it's the character. Is supposed to be crazy. Like,
so I wonder,
literally going
on
nuts.
Stage, are they doing that every time? Like, or did he just know that this is going to be on film? So
I bet he did it. They go for it, man. They're like the world. This is like the the professional sports team, that's like the Yankees right there. They're the best of the best, and they go all in every time.
Yeah, and I'm, having gone down the rabbit hole, I've read a couple articles about this. And I can tell you, the speculation was that King George did foam at the mouth back in the day. That was one of his things.
Really?
And the other,
King George,
to bring it into the present, they said that Jonathan Groff, who played the king, the rumor was he would like drink a bunch of water right before he went out, so he was more likely to have spit go flying all the time as part of the character. Yeah, but that's all rumors.
Sure
it's all speculation. But I mean, that's
so cool.
It's good stuff, right?
Yeah,
it's good
so
stuff.
cool.
You spittle right now?
I need a minute to work it up.
I would need some water. I would need the refresh.
I actually only really spit when I'm not planning on it, Todd. That's when it's an accident.
Spitting.
I have noticed my spittle has gone up since coronavirus. Like, because I'm 6 feet away from somebody, so we're doing our distance, and I can feel like it's starting to come to where I'm gonna like talk and it's gonna shoot at them, and then maybe I'm just really hypersensitive to it, where I'm worried that I'm gonna be spitting.
It's the man that sneezed twice and coughed once at the first.
That is true. Into the open air.
Into my basement. Actually.
Yes, into your
be more accurate about it.
Basement, if we could be accurate. Okay, well, we're 13 minutes into the episode.
Are we going to get to content?
Can we just button this up?
No, the Terry on
wrap it up.
Terry on Musicals 1A. Episode 1A.
That's my intro. So I'm pulling some boom audience over to my musical podcast. I'm very excited about it.
A lot of overlap there.
Todd, talk us through what we might get to today, training the virtual brain.
Yeah, so if we actually get to any kind of training, it will be about training. We're going to be talking about basically 2 ways to look at it. Obviously, we're going to be talking about from the agent's perspective, but also the brokerage or team's perspective. But making sure that we just understand that one of the things, and again, we've learned all this because we've traveled these roads. So we're trying to teach you from the things that we've learned, our lessons. But we've just learned that some agents, and especially like Megan, who does a lot of our interviews, she will meet with prospective agents and that are maybe experienced, and they're like, what do I do about training?
Yep.
How do I get trained? And they're so like just like they just don't understand that you don't have to go to an office to get trained. Like, there's other options out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Nice. Let's do it, Megan. Let's get started by talking about training by an agent. Let's go.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
All right. So the question is, like Todd said, where do I get my general training? Where are you going to go? What are you guys going to do? Well, first, your team or your brokerage should be offering you some formal training. You should have some new agent training, some ongoing training, all of those things. And now that might be in person. You might have sales meetings, certain sessions in your office, maybe just a co-working space where you're getting training because you're talking to other agents. Any of that, maybe you're meeting somebody one-on-one, a manager at Starbucks, but some live in-person training, but it could also be virtual. We do our go-to meetings every week. We do a Monday morning motivation. We do a happy hour once a month. We do coaching calls, all virtually. Anything like that you can do. But then there's also recorded videos. We have a library of trainings you can click on, listen to. educate yourself on all of that. But those are some really quick, easy ways from your brokerage or your team that you should be getting some training and kind of filling your cup, your educational cup, when you have that need.
Right. And you got to keep in mind, too, like agents that are listening, if you're looking to be virtual, yes, hopefully your brokerage is giving you those options, but unless you're willing to work for them and go to them, it's just the same as driving to an office to go to a meeting.
Yep.
You still got to get online. You still got to look up those things. So there is some onus on you.
There is. And, why not just go ahead and put it in your... Some onus.
Christian onus.
That's the right word, Christian.
Yeah, I know. It's a great word.
He giggled like it was a naughty word kind of over there. Like
Megan.
Onus.
Todd said onus.
No?
That's not how he giggled.
Giggled.
Now, yes,
Let's
it
see
is.
it.
Actually, I'm sorry, Megan. You were right. Christian's being inappropriate.
That's funny.
Do you know? You said we have our M3. You said Monday Morning Motivation.
Yes.
So it's called M3, and I think every time we've talked about it, it's been a separate group of M words. That is the
Monday
title. I don't
Morning
think we still know what it is. We know it's M3.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. I know it was
Meeting.
Monday.
There's
Monday
meeting
morning
in there.
motivation, maybe?
We had madness in there at one point.
Madness.
Miracle morning
Meeting.
movers.
Yeah. I just say we never really name it. Can
Mama
we just,
Mia meeting.
Musical.
Musical.
We're going to be good. Musical. That's it. That's
right.
good. We're never naming it. It's going to officially
I like
be
that. Yeah, no, it's
whatever we want.
M3, and what do
Yep.
the M's stand for? Well,
Yes.
a lot of
Monday
different
morning
things.
musical.
Whatever you want.
Terry.
That's Monday morning
Perfect.
musical.
So happy
With
about
Terry. I
this.
love it. That's good stuff.
Okay, yeah. So training, yes. And if you're virtual, you do have to try harder. And I would say we would probably all advise you to put it in your calendar. Find a time that you're filling your cup. Otherwise, it'll get lost, and then you're not getting your training that you need.
Right.
And then another option is to look outside your team and your brokerage. There's so many resources. It's just like if I want to go tile my bathroom floor, I can YouTube it. Guys, you can find the information you need somewhere. So first, look for it online, YouTube, CE companies for your continuing education. There's tons of places, books, there's so many podcasts. I mean, look at you. That was looking. Hold on, video. Sorry, look first. Videos. Second, listen. Podcasts, audiobooks, all of those things that you can do. Books online or on your Audible.
Audiobooks, yeah.
Audiobooks.
Audible books,
That's
yeah,
the-
yeah.
Thank you. And then it's right there. Literally written in black and white. Thank you, Todd and Terry. Number 3, have peers, coaches, mentors, mastermind groups. Proactively join these groups.
Right.
Find the people. There's Facebook pages and there's mastermind groups and find an accountability partner, but get out there, find some things outside of your immediate team and
And
brokerage.
there's the boomcircle.com.
Boomcircle.com.
Mid-show plug. Mid-show plug to
There
the
it is.
boomcircle.com.
That's all you need.
Christian, we just popped the graphic up for our YouTube audience right there.
And there
Good
it is.
stuff like that.
I always
So
look
good.
at it like when we're talking about peers, coaches, mastermind groups, looking outside of your brokerage or your team. I always look at it as simply like if you just think about the basic dynamic of a real estate brokerage, the majority of them is that the largest population of agents are going to be your newer to mid-level agents. There's not
Yeah.
a ton of agents that are doing next level business, which means when you get to that point, your brokerage isn't going to spend a ton of time focusing on you because that's not the majority of their brokerage. Now, hopefully they're giving you some kind of training or something, but you need to be able to look at that and just know that there's a reason that I've gotten to this point, which is from my brokerage or my team, but now I need to look elsewhere. And hopefully they're giving you options too,
Right.
like, hey, check these things out, like the Boom Real Estate Podcast, something
That's
like that.
great.
Yep,
That's right.
Exactly. So, well, here's the other thing. So you're doing all of that. You're getting your general training in all these places, but then where do you go to actually learn to work virtually? Because that is kind of a high, we're looking outside the basic stuff like listings and how to use your CRMs and stuff like that. So one place is your team and brokerage should be offering that stuff. If you're virtual, especially, how
Yeah.
do you do this? What are the hacks and the tricks and how do I get this done? And then again, look outside. Like right now you're listening to a podcast
Right.
that probably is not your brokerage, but we should be.
They
Yes.
better be listening, our brokerage peoples. Ugh.
But
We should just gather. We should force them to gather while we record these so that we
Yes.
know they listen.
Yes.
No, we can't. They're
If
independent
you-
contractors. They could tell
No.
us to go fly
Yeah.
a kite.
If you're in our brokerage and you shoot us an email saying, I just listened to this
Oh.
podcast and this episode, and you reference the word Abernathy. If you use the word Abernathy, we will give you a spot bonus of 1 Blockbuster gift card.
done.
You know what I saw the other day? Side note. that there's one Blockbuster left, and they've turned it into an Airbnb that you can stay in.
I love that idea.
That's so smart, isn't
and then
it?
I'm guessing they've got all the movies there, so you go
I would
in,
assume so,
and you just
yeah.
movie binge for you could
That's
just
really-
musical binge. Terry, that's your dream. That's where you podcast from.
I gotta go. No, that's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
that's good stuff.
Yep, that's all I got, guys.
Good stuff. Let's take a break right here because we've been serious for so long. And let's get to Todd's Silly Segment.
Get on the train for Todd's Silly Segment.
That is a fun woo-woo at the end. I like that.
That is enjoyable.
That is a good time.
We're going to continue the game of Aren't You Glad You're Not a Dentist?
Yes.
Dentist.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now,
yeah,
there was,
that seems worse than you'd think.
Yeah. I would say. Now, I will tell you that I know some dentists, and the one thing I know about them is that they make some bank, which is nice for them. They also tend to only work 4-day weeks. Like I feel like
that's a thing in
it's
dentistry.
an industry trade that you only work 4-day weeks,
Yeah.
which is pretty sweet. And one of those days is usually a half day, and then it's like a Thursday.
Yeah.
For real estate, we're half day Fridays.
We
but
like
we're still
to do
rocking
that.
the other 4 days.
Yeah, we like to do that. That's the kind of information they should tell you in like high school.
I agree.
Hey, dentists only work 4 days a
Right?
week.
Yeah.
Right. Hey,
Yes.
it's pretty common that they don't work
Yes.
more than 4 days a week.
I
Like
mean,
no one. How do you know that
dentists,
stuff?
Nurses and firefighters, 12-hour, 24-hour shifts.
Yeah.
I want to know these things.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts of the daily life of these people.
What's the light? Yes.
You know.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's get to a story about that a dentist has shared. I'm going to warn you that this story it doesn't it kind of leaves you hanging.
Oh,
right.
Cliffhanger. I
It's
like
got
that.
a cliffhanger.
I'm okay
so,
with that,
So
I
bear
think.
with me on that part. But so we found this story from a dentist, and it goes like this.
He wrote in and said, "Here's a story. we're taking submissions," and he wrote to us and he said,
Dr. Tom.
Yes, and Christian, maybe throughout the rest of this story,
Yeah?
if you could just insert some dental drill.
"No,
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like some sweet music in the background.
No,
when
no.
they tell stories.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. You said dental drill?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could manually vocally do it while he reads, that'd be amazing. That's pretty good, man. I think that's good.
My dentist uses
Really good.
my dentist is using instead of a
It sounds
drill,
like the Three Stooges.
she uses like a high powered water or like
Pick?
something like
Water
that.
drill?
Water something. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they
I
don't
mean,
use
to
a
drill?
She just like it's so intense that I guess it's the same as a drill. But it's just
Really?
shooting
So
water.
she drills it with water.
It gets messy in there.
It just goes everywhere.
Talk about spittle.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
When you're putting on a smock to anyways. Here's the story. Thank you. This old guy came in and his breath really smelled. Which,
yeah,
by the
that's
way,
something you don't even
that's
think
the
about.
side that you got to realize about dentistry is those. Not probably everybody that's in there is really rocking the pearly whites. No.
They wouldn't be in there.
Yeah,
That's not true, Christian. Checkups
Gotta
twice a
maintain
year,
our clear.
Christian.
That's true. That's true. My dad never goes to the dentist. I remember him saying that. I was like, maybe I should stop going to the dentist. He has great teeth. All right. So this old guy came in and his breath really smelled. The hygienist started flossing his teeth and started pulling out.
No. I'm so scared. What do you think he's pulling out? Somebody say it. Seaweed.
Oh no.
You won't guess
Pickles.
it. You won't guess it. The hygienist started flossing his teeth and started pulling out fur.
What?
Cat fur.
Oh, no.
And not just recent fur, but years of compacted, rotting fur hiding in his gums. She said she needed to take a few breaks during that cleaning. That's where the cliffhanger is. Why is there fur in that dude's mouth? Years of fur.
It's not hard to figure out why.
Yeah.
He's like biting and chewing on cats.
Or he
dead
just,
or alive.
loves cats.
Well, did he lick them? Anything could be happening at that house.
I like that you're going with the fur is on the cat when he's.
It's one or the other. Yeah, what was he like? Oh, you think he gathers it and chews on it?
Maybe. Like, remember that football coach that would Les Miles would always eat a little bit of the grass from whatever stadium he's in?
Oh no, I didn't know
that's
that.
his thing. And so I just maybe this guy, he's a vet, or maybe he's a
Little bit of the
veterinarian.
cat fur.
Just every animal, he just
No.
a little bit of
I'm gonna keep this in here for a while. No, he has cats at home. They sit on his lap, and he pets them and licks them, and then it's. I don't think he's eating them. That's my.
How are they? Where like they're getting flossed out? That means he's at least chewing.
No, he could have just like maybe just licks his cat, like his cat likes.
No, if he's licking his cat,
Yeah, he's cleaning the cat. That's
the
what
cat. He's doing
Yeah.
the cat a favor.
That's
all the
fine.
cats love that, right?
I think he's kind, if you ask me.
if you're licking your cat,
Todd and I
it's
are on the
not
same
getting
wavelength.
in between your teeth. That is uncanny still.
Cat hair.
This is so gross.
Hairballs or some of that. He's just got little hairballs compacted between his teeth.
No, it's compacted. That's the problem I'm having right now. Okay,
Yeah.
we've reached the
Cat
point.
hair, though.
We've reached a point in the season where I think we have to ask the question: do we continue this segment?
I've got it. I will. The next episode.
We're too far in.
I'm going to bring it
We
back.
are too far in now.
I'm going to bring it. I'll make a solemn oath on the next episode. I will bring it
You'll
back.
dial
to
it back
step.
one click
Okay.
for us. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And then we might go right up.
Maybe
a
turn
few.
it down to 7.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go up to
It's
down
at-
to
it's at
7,
10.
and then we're gonna hit an 11 before
All right.
we go.
I'm gonna need just a few minutes after this episode. So.
So aren't you glad you're not a dentist?
Yeah.
Get on the train for Todd City segment.
I when you were telling me that story, I closed my eyes and like I was getting pummeled, and I was like, just let it happen to you, and then hold on, and then I got through it. Okay, let's move on. Todd, training by a team / brokerage.
Yes, let's keep going now that the mood has been set. All right, what I want to share some options and suggestions to the team leaders, the brokerage managers. Yes,
We will not have this kind of filth on Terry on musicals.
Okay. Yeah.
This level of filth
Monday morning
not gonna
musicals
on Monday morning musicals.
with Terry.
All right, back to you, Todd.
All right, so I'll give you guys some options out there if you're a team leader, brokerage manager, whatever the case
Hey,
is.
quick update: Monday morning musicals is available.
It is available.
get
It's
it.
available.
I've already bought 3 domains during this podcast.
Get it? We need as many 3M combinations as we can get.
I did look it up. It's
we
available.
set on one. All right. Option, virtual meetings. So have virtual meetings. Megan referenced this a little bit ago. Have virtual meetings now. A suggestion for that would be offer a minimum of at least one live training virtually option per week. Now, if you're doing it in-house, like at your, if you do have an office, that's fine. But again, record it, put it out there. And you can do more, but it depends on the size of your team, your brokerage and everything. But make sure that you're doing at least one. And this goes back to our last episode about communication, making sure that you are systematically and continuously communicating with your sphere or your agents in this case.
Yep.
Option number 2. Host in-person trainings. Like I said, this can be at your office. Megan talked about doing co-working spaces, restaurants, wherever the case is, but do in-person trainings still, because there are going to be people in your brokerage and your team that need to have that personal, physical interaction.
Yeah.
And so you're going to want to make sure that you offer that to them as well. But again, if you're going to record it and put it online, for those that don't want it, that'd be great.
Good call.
Which brings me to the next 2. Pre-recorded options, or pre-recorded videos is a great one. Create a library of them. So how to fill out a purchase agreement, how to fill out a listing contract. You can pre-record all those things so that you can use that as trainings, and you don't have to do the same trainings over and over and over. Have a library of it. Then there's also post-recorded videos. That goes back to what I was talking about before, which is when you have meetings, when you're meeting with people, when you're training somebody one-on-one, record the thing.
Yeah.
And then put it out and said, hey, I did a short sale training with George today, and I thought I'd share it with the rest of the brokerage. George is doing great, by the way.
Yeah.
Real
Well,
Proud
thanks.
of him.
Spitfire.
Yep.
That George. Just
Thanks
a
to the
spitfire.
quality virtual training he's getting.
Yeah.
That's
what
why.
it is. That's what it is. Number 4 or 5. I don't know where I am. Sub it out is the option. Make your
Yeah,
You're on
E. I
number
think it's
E.
E. Number E.
make your agents aware of all options available to them. What this means is don't try to sell them.
Can I quit? Are we done with that segment, or can I
keep
keep
it
doing
going.
drills?
I want you to know
Talking about training. So.
I'm running a low-grade nauseous feeling, like a low-grade nauseousness right now. That is a really good
It's really
He's
good.
such a good drill
it's
with his
really
mouth.
good. It's scary almost. It's so good.
But sub it out, which means that agents and team leaders, managers, make sure that you are letting people know there's other options than your brokerage. They will respect that when you say, hey, you should be listening to these podcasts, reading these books. Don't be afraid to go across company lines. If somebody's doing it great, share that with them, and they will appreciate that knowledge.
Yeah.
And then the last one is mix it up. All right, so you're going to have people that like the in-person. You're going to have people that like the virtuals. But if you do the same things always, and you do the same types of meetings, and you're doing all, it's going to become a rut. And so you got to make sure that you mix up what you're doing so that you can reach as many of your agents as possible, but you're also going to keep them involved and invested and interested in coming back.
Yeah, so that's good. So, the bottom line of this is that virtual training not only can happen, you can train in a virtual world, but a lot of times you can do a lot more because of the virtual tools and opportunities that technology presents. So you can do it at a really high level. That's good stuff. Okay, email us info@terryonmusicals.com, our website, terryonmusicals.com, and make sure you download Terry on Musicals on Stitchers and iTunes and Spotify. We'll see you next time on Terry on Musicals.
Give them the dental noise.
No! Oh! I need a minute.